చైతన్య ల్యాప్టాప్ ఎక్కడ ఉంది? చైతన్య శశికుమార్ ఎప్పుడు? ఎప్పుడమ్మా? ఇప్పుడా
కాదు, అడ్మిషన్ టైం నుంచి లేదంట, నా దగ్గర లేదా ల్యాప్టాప్ తీసుకున్నారంట. అడ్మిషన్ నుంచి లేదు, మీ దగ్గరే ఉన్నా. హలో, కాదు ల్యాప్టాప్ ఎప్పుడు తీసుకున్నారు దగ్గర?
శశి, చైతన్య ల్యాప్టాప్ ఎక్కడమ్మా? ఆడిటోరియంలో. ఓకే, నేను చైతన్య ల్యాప్టాప్ మీరు తీసుకెళ్ళాలని చెప్పింది చైతన్య. నేను ఎందుకు సత్యాన్ని చేయాలి?
హలో, వెరీ గుడ్ మార్నింగ్.
నేను చైతన్య దగ్గర అడిగాను, మీరు ల్యాప్టాప్ తీసుకెళ్లారు, అది పాస్వర్డ్.
Is my voice audible?
ఉండండి, నేను మాట్లాడుతాను. సాయి.
Yes, good morning, Santosh. Is the voice audible? Yeah. Okay, fine. Okay, thank you. So we will be starting the session once the dignitaries and the speaker arrives. So you can wait and please mute the mics, okay, and videos.
చైతన్య, అది శశి పాస్వర్డ్ అడిగాడు కానీ ల్యాప్టాప్ నా దగ్గర లేవు సార్. ఇది చైతన్య అప్పుడు అది ఒక్కరోజు తీసుకున్నాను, తర్వాత నేను నా దగ్గర ఏమీ లేవు అని చెప్పారు. ఓకే, డైరెక్టరేట్లో ఉందా, వచ్చాక చూద్దాం. ఇది వచ్చిన తర్వాత వాళ్ళ దగ్గర ఉంటుందని అనుకుంటా. ఓకే
Hello, good morning, Sudarshan.
ఓకే 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 ఓకే.
Sir, can you able to hear me?
Yeah, you are audible.
Yeah, okay.
అన్న యు ఆర్ లైవ్. హలో కొంచెం என்னன்னு வருது? ஓகே, எனக்கு இங்கே லைவ்னு ஓடிட்டு இருக்கு, அதான் உட்காந்து பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கேன். அந்த யூடியூப் லிங்க் தானா? உள்ள சுற்றிக்கிட்டே இருக்கு. ஓகே, இந்த இருக்கு, நான் பார்த்துறேன். இப்போ கொஞ்சம் முன்னாடி வந்துச்சு, சரி அதனால தான் நான் ஒரு வாட்டி நான் பார்த்துட்டு வரேன். ஓகே, தேங்க்யூ தேங்க்யூ. సాయి సాయి
మీరు కాల్ చేస్తున్న వ్యక్తి వేరే కాల్లో మాట్లాడుతున్నారు. మీరు వేచి ఉండండి లేదా తర్వాత మళ్ళీ కాల్ చేయండి. आपने जिस व्यक्ति को कॉल किया है वो अभी दूसरे कॉल पर व्यस्त है. कृपया प्रतीक्षा करें या कुछ समय पश्चात प्रयास करें. The person you have called is speaking to someone else. You can wait or call again later. మీరు కాల్ చేస్తున్న
సాయి ఇది చూడు, ఇక్కడ లైవ్ చేసాను కానీ ఇది రావట్లేదు. ఇంగ్లీష్లో చేసాను, ఇంగ్లీష్లో అయింది. బ్లాక్ స్క్రీన్ చాట్ స్ట్రీమింగ్ కొట్టాను, సెట్టింగ్స్ అన్నీ ఇక్కడ అన్నీ మైగ్రేట్ అయింది. లైవ్ స్ట్రీమింగ్ ఇక్కడ వచ్చింది, ఇండస్ట్రీ లైవ్ గో లైవ్ కొట్టేశాను, ఎండ్ స్ట్రీమింగ్ వస్తుంది కానీ అక్కడ రావట్లేదు సార్.
అది రిఫ్రెష్ సరే
సరే
ఓకే కదా.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్. அந்த பேஜ் ஒரு வாட்டி ரீஃப்ரெஷ் பண்ணுங்கண்ணா. இல்லை, எனக்கு இங்கே வருது யூடியூப்பில். Okay. Okay, sure. நான் பண்ணிடுறேன்.
Yeah, good morning, participants. The session will start in a while once the speaker joins. Let's wait for a few minutes so that the speaker can join. A very good morning, Professor Roshan Srivastava.
ల్యాప్టాప్ లేవు, ల్యాప్టాప్ ఆల్రెడీ. మీరు ఎందుకు ఆటో నింపుతున్నారు?
అక్కడ ప్రోగ్రామ్ జరుగుతుంది.
ప్రోగ్రామ్ జరుగుతుంది, ఓకే, పూర్ణ చూసుకుంటాడు కదా.
పూర్ణ ఇంకా రాలేదు.
ల్యాప్టాప్ ఇప్పుడు లైవ్ జరుగుతుంది. సాయికి ఒక ల్యాప్టాప్, సాయి ల్యాప్టాప్ ఇచ్చేసి వచ్చాయి. సత్యవతి ఉందని చూడండి. సత్యవతి వెళ్ళిపోయిందంటే సత్యవతి తీసుకెళ్ళండి. ఇది ఈ స్విచ్ ఈరోజు పెట్టేయాలి.
అది కరెక్టేనండి, ప్రోగ్రామ్ జరుగుతుంది.
ప్రోగ్రామ్ పూర్ణకి ఇచ్చేసి రండి.
అడిగారండి, అన్నీ తొందరగా వచ్చాను.
చెప్పు బ్రో. అక్కడ లేవు, ఇది ఇక్కడే వచ్చింది. స్టూడెంట్స్ ఆ రోజు ప్రాజెక్టర్ డివైస్ తీసుకొస్తున్నారు.
Hi, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir, it is audible. Good morning, sir.
Okay. Good morning. Actually, apology for this mic. I'm joining with two systems. So one will be for the mic and the other one for the presentation.
Okay, sir, no issues, no issues.
Sir, shall we start?
Yeah, please.
Okay, sir. So, a very good morning to everyone present here. Honorable Director, NIT Andhra Pradesh, Professor Pramod Padole, Register in Charge, Dr. Dinesh Shankar Reddy, respected Dean Research and Consultancy and Padon of Institute Innovation Council, Professor G.R.K. Sastry. Speaker of the today's event, Dr. Roshan Srivastava, Project Director, IIT Tirupati, Navshikar iHub Foundation, Deans, Associate Deans, Heads of various departments, members of IIC, faculty members, participants, and my dear students. It gives me immense pleasure in welcoming you all to the one-day workshop on entrepreneurship and innovation as a career opportunity. As we all know that the objective of studying any engineering is to develop innovative thinking which can identify and solve real-world problems in a better way. By understanding this, Government of India is promoting various schemes so as to translate our economy into a knowledge and technological based. With this motive, the Institute Innovation Council of NIT Andhra Pradesh has organized this workshop. The main objective of this is to acquaint the participant as well as the faculty members of the institute with the growing opportunities in the areas of technological entrepreneurship and innovation. So for this workshop, over 200 participants have registered, and the session will be handled by Dr. Roshan, who is currently a project director of Technological Innovation Hub of IIT Tirupati. And this hub was established by DST in order to promote the innovation activities. We strongly believe that this workshop will help the participants to understand and the innovation and entrepreneurship opportunities available. With this, now I may request Dr. Sudarsana Deepa, Associate Dean, Innovation Incubation Startup, and the President of IIC to introduce about today's speaker.
Well,
Ma'am, please.
Thank you, Dr. Rivaraj, for giving me this opportunity to introduce the chief guest. So, Dr. Roshan Srivatsav is currently working as an assistant professor in the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering, IIT Tirupati. He did this doctorate from IIT Madras, MTech from MNIT Allahabad, and BTech from University College of Engineering, Osmania University. Actually, Sir is working currently in Technological Innovation Hub of IIT Tirupati as a project director. So he has been given the charge of it, which is funded by the National Mission on Interdisciplinary Cyber Physical Systems, DST. His area of interest are technically hydroclimaticology, water security and climate change, urban watershed management, reservoir operation, scostatic hydrology, remote sensing and GIS application, flood risk assessment, machine learning and statistical modeling, application to water resource systems dynamics. He has contributed several publications in international journals as well as international conference proceedings. So may I request our speaker to enlighten the session.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Yuvraj. Can I share my screen?
Yes, sir, you can share.
Yes, sir.
So, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Okay. Thank you. Very good morning to all. First of all, apologies for the kind of delay I had with my computer, mic, and all. So what I'll do is, I think I got about an hour or more. I'll just go through something very important, which I think being part of Andhra Pradesh and NIT AP should be very closely observing these programs. So I'll just start with something on which probably you might have not known till now. There's something called National Mission on Interdisciplinary Cyber-Physical System. So what Government of India has done is there's a certain area where we are, I think, day to day, like most of the places what we see today. We are very closely associated with the cyber world and the physical world. In fact, we cannot be separable most of the time. As you see that much of the time we spend on is either on computers, mobile. We are always connected with this cyber world. So, if we closely observe the kind of a policy what government is looking at last few years or half of the decade, is looking at Atmanirbhar programs. What they have seen is most of the imports what we do are the kind of technology what we are importing and all is more on the psychophysical systems. The government of India has come up with a scheme or a mission to kind of develop this CPS technology in-house. That means in India, and make sure that much of this is like an Atmanirbhar program in the next 5 to 10 years. They have allocated about 3,600 crores. They have allocated about 3,600 crores for over a 5-year period to make sure that they establish about 25 technology innovation hubs. So when I'm talking about the IIT Tirupati Technology Innovation Hub, I'm actually representing all the 25 hubs. The procedures, the kind of uh, projects or whatever we are working on, the objectives will remain the same for all the 25 hubs. And as you can see on the right hand side, the 25 hubs, what is being listed. So there are various areas. I think all of you who are here can easily get associated with one of these technology innovation hubs. Now at IIT Tirupati, we have got something called positioning and precision technologies. Now, positioning and precision technologies is one of the, I think it's kind of from a common man to the satellite. It varies and it has a very wide applications. For example, GPS, you can talk about the remote sensing, GIS. So anything related to positioning is very popular nowadays. Geospatial, geoinformatics, and a lot of tools related to defense and all. I'll go through all those things in the later slides. But I think this one particular mission, which should be a kind of a great help to NIT, Warangal students and the faculty, wherein you can actually go and explore one of these areas and be part of this national mission. And I'm going to give you all the details about all those. Now, there is important aspect of this technology innovation hub is we have majorly four objectives. The first one is looking at the technology development. This is not like a research projects. What we expect from the researchers, academicians, or anyone from the country to kind of develop a product which is at least a technology readiness level should be greater than 4, which is at least the lab demonstratable. So a lot of our funds go into developing this technology in-house. Then the second major objective what we have is looking at human resource development and skill development. So in human resource development, again, I'm going to give you the details in the following slides, what kind of an opportunity we have and all. Basically, we kind of try to provide support to the students, faculty, scholars, to kind of come up with a thing in terms of developing, looking at the product development. Skill development is another area where we would like to support, conduct programs with different institutions in order to make sure that we give enough training to the students so they're industry ready. The third is the most important thing. I think nowadays there's a lot of, I think today what we are talking with your innovation this program itself, what we kind of trying to look at is much of the young generation are trying to make sure that they make a mark on their own. So startups is one thing which I think is a buzzword nowadays. There's a lot of opportunities in Indian market, huge market. Of course, it's associated with all the risks, but it kind of provides a kind of a right time if you're a young entrepreneur or is also seasoned in research, can definitely come into startups. So this is one of the areas where we are going to support anyone in the country to kind of come up with a startup. So we have a kind of ecosystem where you can walk in, proof of concept, entrepreneurial residence. So there are a number of steps we take it and then finally end up getting up into a startup. We also have a lot of support from the government of India, other uh, venture capitalists who can kind of support these startups kind of take it to the next level. Other major objective what we have finally is international collaborations. The collaborations is not just uh, on a research to research basis, but there are a number of possibilities with having all the industries. Basically, what we are looking is if there is any technology out there, we kind of try to bring in as quickly as possible to India. We can buy the IPs, bring it to India, ask the industries to work on that, other startups to work on that. So there are a number of possibilities. Looking at the right experts, bring them here to kind of develop the technology at the earliest. So these are four objectives. These objectives is common for all 25 technology innovation hubs. When I'm talking about IIT Tirupati, we'll only talk about positioning and precision technologies. I think from here on, whatever I'm going to talk is mostly what kind of an opportunities you have, what kind of an areas we work on, and how I think we kind of support the institute or an individual, a student or a scholar in kind of an innovation, what they want to make it. And of course, as I said, again, I'm reiterating, uh, it's only positioning and precision is associated with IIT Tirupati. But in case if you are looking for AIML, then you have seen that list. I can share this list or a presentation with your with the institute, and probably you can circulate, and then you look into all these 25 hubs. So it will be the same. You have to just replace positioning and precision with your core area and approach this technology innovation hubs. So our vision is basically to make sure that we kind of uh, nurture new and innovative solutions for the interconnected grand problems in PPT. I'll just show you what is the grand problems we are going to work on, and basically we also wanted to make sure. I think if you're closely following the news last 2 years, there's a lot of buzz on the GIS, remote sensing, a lot of activities from ISRO and other partners, private partners, who are coming forward to kind of tap this huge potential in GIS remote sensing. Basically, the kind of information what we have, kind of diversity what we have, it creates a lot of scope for the young researchers, students to come up with the new ideas or innovative ideas. So we kind of want to align ourselves with the country's broad objective of using the GIS. And of course, we also wanted as a technology innovation hub to be a one-stop solution for positioning and precision, where we would like to bring in all the industries, government agencies, state agencies, the academics, research centers onto a single platform. So this is our kind of a vision where we are trying to work on to bring in most of them on a single platform. So coming to the DIH, what technology we'll be focusing on, of course, what you see is not an exclusive list here. We have kind of worked through certain areas which may be very advanced areas. Certain areas is like more of an for the stakeholders directly useful. Some may be kind of at a higher level. For example, quantum-based positioning, where the teams are working to develop an atomic clock. Remote sensing, I think most of you should be knowing about the remote sensing. Um, then we have this SAR, synthetic aperture radar, interferometry, and then LiDAR. I think these are some of the areas which is now kind of many of the industries or the agencies are focusing. So if you can just see that uh, the kind of technologies being used in UAVs is LiDAR, mapping is done on SAR. So, so a lot of scope. So one thing I think personally I feel positioning and precision gives you a wide range of applications. In fact, I see this is one of the technology innovation hubs where all the engineering branches can take part, including social studies and science background. There are a number of faculty from physics who are taking part in our technology innovation hub, who are kind of trying to work on uh, quantum positioning systems and like atomic clocks and other things. So what are we actually looking at the inputs and the processing is mostly looking at improvising the precision on time, on the location, where we call out GPS. Then also, how do we use this geospatial data? In fact, now we are closely working with AP Innovation Cell and other agencies in Andhra Pradesh to kind of create hackathons for the students and industries and the startups uh, who are going to work on this huge pile of geospatial data. I don't know how many of you heard about PM Gati Shakti program. So there are a number of programs. There's a lot of tons of data available. Even Survey of India has a lot of tons of data. Now, I think everybody likes about the AI ML applications. Now, Geo AI is another area where I think there's a lot of scope where people are trying to kind of use this AI ML to kind of extract the features, extract the information. It's becoming a big buzzword nowadays, GeoAI. So geospatial data is one big area. High definition maps, of course. I think if you have seen 10 years back the quality of the map, what we see today, even now the street maps are available for India also. The kind of high definition maps, the demand for high definition maps have improved. People are not talking about now 10-meter resolution and all. We are all talking about 1 meter, less than 1 meter accuracy of images for various purposes. And of course, another area I think where uh, I think every one of us can focus, and again, it's kind of key resources, and it's kind of an asset management where we kind of would like to know where is our key resources, how are we using these resources. So it can be two types: one is the natural resources, and another is the built environment. So if you can see, look at all this information. I think these are all like have a value on spatial domain, and attached to that geo tag to that will kind of create a different information altogether, which is very, very useful given that India has so much diversity in various aspects. So what kind of system developments we were focusing on is we kind of started working, but again, what I say, repeat it again, this is not an exclusive risk when we started working on the proposal, so we kind of got some of these experts who are working in this area. So atomic clocks, decision support systems. We need decision support systems. I think much of our effort should go to kind of create all these decision support systems using the geospatial data. For example, I think many of us use nowadays maps to kind of locate my nearest restaurant, nearest petrol pump. So there are a number of other possibilities. Everything doesn't have to be through a single app, but there are a number of other areas where this decision support systems can help, especially when we are talking about the disaster management, as like similar areas. Then monitoring and mapping systems is another important area. I think this has been, I think, one of the more very common areas where people have been focusing on. But what I think we feel at Technology Innovation Hub is just not mapping, but how do you take that maps to for a useful for stakeholders, for agriculture management, disaster management, natural resource management. And the most important thing is the availability of these tools to the public who can use it, who can kind of uh, analyze for their own purpose. So there's a possibility of a lot of web-based tools. I think nowadays we see most of the tools are available on the cloud platform, which will help number of users to kind of use the resources in the right way. So the applications, I think if you see the applications, one of the things we feel very proud of is most of the places positioning and precision technologies play a major role. And whether it can be a navigation, precision agriculture, defense, water and energy management, disaster management. Now we all talk about the climate, weather, social media analytics. So it's playing a big role, positioning and precision technology. So what we have done is we kind of uh, went with contacted number of experts across the country and asked them like what are the areas we should be focusing on, which will help our technology innovation hub to be one of the best in the world. And we got about 8 problems which we should be focusing on. The first one is on the atomic clock, which includes time localization, which is very important. In fact, number of failures of the satellites is because of the failure of these atomic clocks. Then navigation sensors for satellites. So again, now I think you're aware that there are a lot of private players coming up who want to launch their satellites. Maybe NIT can work on kind of the satellite, make a group who can develop the satellites, or at least the payloads for the satellites. Then this is another area which we feel there's a lot of interest nowadays, indoor localization. There are a number of scenarios, especially during the disasters. We see like it's very difficult to locate people, difficult to locate your assets. So navigation sensors for indoor localization is one of the key areas which you should be focusing on. Then, of course, who doesn't know about the IoT? So IoT and embedded hardware is very important. Most of these things we import. So as a young uh, researchers, students, I think somewhere I think we should focus on manufacturing. So this is one area. So the other one, what is very important, is more of understanding about the geospatial data. How do we process this data? We have tons of information coming from the satellite, from the ground. So much information we are collecting from various purposes. So geospatial data processing and applications become one of the areas where we need to focus on. And there are a few areas where we would like to establish some uh, kind of an high quality precision equipments across the country. Survey of India is doing has started to put on the cost network across the country where there is a local a kind of it's a regular ground-based GPS system. If the satellites fail, how do you so something like that? And of course, communication and network systems become very important. So these are some of the grand problems which we have got through all the experts, and then we have consolidated that, and we are kind of working on this. Again, is not just how do I say like. It is not an exclusive list. There are a lot of other opportunities. But if you see, most of them fall, key areas fall into all these eight grand problems. You can give one way or the other associated with one of these grand problems. Now, some of the areas what we are working, I'll also go through in detail later by looking into, like for example, defense is one of the in fact, if you see most of this remote sensing GIS all started from defense, and then slowly it has come to the public domain. So much of the research goes into defense applications and navigation. Quantum technologies, quantum is a buzzword now. A lot of interest in by various government, our own governments who are trying to kind of work on the quantum technologies. A lot of things can be done and the positioning and precision. Then indoor navigation and positioning is also very important area, as I have told you. Some of the applications can be on disaster management. I think everyone can play a role in disaster management, right from electrical department, computer science. There's a lot of scope for disaster management application point of view. Precision agriculture is another. I think a lot of people might hear now this word precision agriculture. So you can see a lot of use of image processing, robotics, there are a number of things which we can do in precision agriculture. Of course, uh, India has its own challenges in precision agriculture, but yes, that makes us to come up with more innovative solutions. It's not straightforward. So that gives us a lot of scope to come up with much innovative solutions for our own. That. Then there's also a lot of interest nowadays on the insurance and taxations, land records. So there's a huge scope. There's a lot of projects. How do we identify the land parcels? Whether this, so number of things can be done. Nowadays, people are also working on insurance and taxation. The people have gone for a sanction single story. They might have gone into two-story. We need not go to the site, but can we do it through the satellite, the images itself, using shadow analysis and all? So there are a number of ways. As this information, as I said, more and more we get high resolution images. These analysis is becoming possible to just sit at the desktop and then kind of come up with the solutions. So other areas which I think we cannot separate it when I'm talking about positioning and precision technology. Image processing for sure. I think a number of people who are here might be working on image processing. So this is one area which is very, very important. Energy management is towards the energy sector. A lot of mapping and other things are there. Now everybody talks about the smart cities. We are also thinking of working on smart villages where there is a lot of scope. The number of cities are very few. There are a number of villages what we can target and work on the problems. Provide them all those spatial information which will help all these farmers, the village people to kind of smartly use it for their benefit. And today we all talk about the data science. I think geospatial is a huge pile of data. And even if you see a simple images, what is being collected on the Google Earth engine, they are talking about 12 to 13 petabytes of the data. So it's like huge data. So there are a lot of possibilities when we talk about this data science. So if you are a data science, um, even in fact, whether you are any branch, I think today it's necessary that you should do at least one of these courses. Data science must. I think if you have an opportunity, you should definitely go through the data science. I myself, as a civil engineer, I work in a lot of data science techniques and application of data science to climate and other water-related modeling, water resource-related modeling. Then, of course, there's also a small component like mathematical modeling. Math is always important. Mathematical, statistical, all comes part of this. So this is something which positioning and precision technologies and kind of an overview. I'll go into the details in the next PPT, but I just wanted to showcase that what is kind of summary what we see over here is what we are focusing currently. So what kind of an opportunities we have from Technology Innovation Hub? Mostly this is not going to change across this 25 Technology Innovation Hubs. I would definitely like you to note down this website and take a screenshot. Sorry, yes. So this, so as I said, there are a number of objectives. The first one is technology development. So we invite proposals from any faculty from any UGC registered or the recognized institutes of India. All the faculty, startups, and industries even can come forward for technology development related projects. So there is a call for proposals. There's one important aspect you should remember. The call for proposals is not for research. I think it's more of a product development. What we expect you at the end is you're coming up with a product. It's not a research publication. So we encourage patents, IPs. So you should be kind of looking into those aspects rather than coming up with a new idea for a journal publication and all. So most of the applications what we receive is usually on the research oriented rather than on the product oriented. So if you have any questions, we'll be very happy to help you. How do you convert your research to product? Whether really there's a market on that. So a lot of things we support in that direction. So this is one important call for all those faculties who are here at the innovation cell of AP. Can be working closely with us to identify areas where NIT AP can lead in some of these product developments. One of the other important areas which we should be focusing, especially the students who are here, we provide a graduate internship for all the UG students, 10,000 per month per project for 10 months. And so a maximum of 2 people in a group because it's per project we are giving 10,000 so that it gets split by 5,000 and 5,000. But we didn't want it to go below that. So this is one thing. So we call Chanakya graduate internships. So if you go to our website, it's a very simple procedure you can go through. You can fill up the form, and the student will be working under a mentor in the NIT itself. So you'll identify. You have to identify. Your student has to identify the mentor or the faculty who are here who would like to uh, kind of mentor the students. You have a problem which you want to start off with, which can kind of try to lead some small product, like for example an app or a desktop tool, a small sensor for measuring, or a GPS, Mavic, anything. I think if you have a small idea, in fact, if faculty who want to later take it up as a startup or you want to go for a proposal, it's best to start with a UG fellowship and then kind of put up a proposal which will help them to consolidate their proposal strongly. So we have the graduate internships. We have the postgraduate fellowships, the same as what uh, we have for the PG students, but this will be completely sponsored by our Technology Innovation Hub. And one important point is if you are already receiving some fellowship from Government of India, then probably we will work on providing an additional support beyond your whatever scholarship you're getting. So we have Chanakya PhD fellowship, which is about that we give it for 4 years. If there's a potential PhD students who are working, they can apply with us in the areas you have already seen. We have also Chanakya postdoctoral fellowship. If you have a doctoral student who has just finished and working in some of these areas, so they can apply for postdoctoral fellowship. We have Chanakya faculty fellowships, which I have not put up here, but definitely we have a faculty fellowship who feel like who want to spend about a year at our institute and then contribute in these areas. You're most welcome to apply. And there is also a chair position, chair professor position. One important point I would like to bring in the human resource development is we have Chanakya UG, PG, PhD fellowships. So all these fellowships can be done from your host institute. There is nothing to be associated with IIT Tirupati or Technology Innovation Hub. So many times people ask like whether the students have to come and work in IIT Tirupati. No, it's not like that. People can be anywhere, any part of the country. But they have to be the registered student. You cannot apply when you are as a project staff or something like that. You should be a registered student, and till your registration is valid, we'll be providing you this internship or fellowship. So this is with the human resource development. And then we have skill development programs. Again, I invite all the faculty who would like to conduct a very high level of skill development programs like Innovation Cell. We can work together to create something on research to market kind of workshops together, and anything related to positioning and precision technologies. We'll be very happy to join with NIT, AP, and work with them to create this skill development programs. In fact, we work like a hub and spoke model, and if we see a lot of potential from NIT, AP, there's a lot of enthusiasm from many of the faculty who want to take part. We can create a similar. It's called a hub and spoke model. What we do as a hub, you can also do as a spoke to a regional. So you can conduct all the programs, and a lot of things are possible when you become a spoke. And then this is one important other details is startup ecosystem. There are a lot of opportunities over here. We go up to seed funds up to 1 crore. Definitely, any proposal you put doesn't mean that it will go up to 1 crore. They start as low as from 1 lakh, may go up to 1 crore. There are a lot of funds available for these activities, but you should also make sure that you kind of write idea to pitch in for becoming startups. And we also give a lot of training and support for the startups. Then we have a lot of ventures attached to. I mean, we are building that resources who can support these startups for the next level. We do a lot of collaborations. In fact, we have just started making some inroads with a lot of agencies, industries who want to come on board. So, kind of trying to bring the industry problems to our hub, and in turn, the institutes like NIT, AP can come forward to solve that, and then it's like all win-win. So, industry, academia partnership is also one of the main objectives, which especially IIT TIS is focusing on. I think these are some of the stats. I think I would just like to skip it, but there are a number of institutes who are working with us, number of skill development programs we have been doing. A lot of institutes also collaborating. We are also looking for the PG students. This is where I feel like we are finding it very difficult to find good PG projects. We'll be very happy if NIT Warangal can pitch in for UG, PG fellowships, and then come up with a lot of projects which will be kind of helpful for NIT AP also, regionally for the Andhra Pradesh, and overall when you see at the country itself, I think we can do a lot of things over there. I see a lot of enthusiasm because I see a number of participants over here. I can see more than 70 participants here. I'm very sure, sorry, this program can benefit a lot of you who are here. So I would request you to kind of get into the website and look into the details. I'll take out the questions at the end, but I'm just giving you a brief idea. So these are some of the skill development programs what we are doing it now. There are a number of programs. You can follow us on the website. We keep updating the number of programs where we are doing what we are doing. And I also would like to invite NIT AP. You can come up with some programs which we can jointly organize. We'll be very happy to kind of look into that. A lot of skill development programs. Of course, the area should be positioning and precision technologies. If you want to get connected with any of the hubs, please let me know. We'll be very happy to support you to connect with the other hubs also. This is something which, as I said, one of the important aspects as I'm talking today would like to see as a hub and spoke model. Faculties can take individually as also part of our system. If you go to our website, we have hub, spoke, and spikes. So if the institute itself is not part of it, as an individual also we recognize you. So we always make the teams who are part of our ecosystem, where you can work with one of the teams. The teams will be meeting and then discussing what kind of problems, where we can go and finding funding resources. So a lot of possibilities are there as a young researcher. If you have a drive to work towards the product development, kind of work in these areas, I think we'll be very happy to support as a technology management hub. And one important aspect is also that there's a lot of support from the line ministries. A lot not done till now from TIS, IIT Tirupati. We are working on that now. But eventually, there will be a lot of support from the ministries, both from the state and the center, to kind of provide us a lot of problem statements, financial support. So there's a lot of things possible over here. We have a great team who is mentoring us. We have two bodies. Of course, we have registered this as a Section 8 company. We call this as a IIT Tirupati Navavishkara Foundation. and we have an ungoverning body. It's not like IIT Tirupati faculty are uh, only working on this. Most of the board members are outside IIT Tirupati. As you can see, very prominent personalities. Uh, Dr. Y.N. Krishnamurthy from IIC Trivandrum, Dr. Ravi Kalgati and Tricks. Major General Dr. R. Shivakumar and Professor Omkar Dixit, Sri Revazia from SIDBI. This is a hub governing body. Number of other people are also going to join this groups. We have support from the DSC. Uh, Dr. Ekta Kapoor is part of this. Then internally, of course, would like to thank Professor K.M. Satyanarayana, our director, IIT Tirupati. We have a CEO, Mr. Srinivas Murthy, who is driving the activities at various levels. Dr. Anil Kapoor, Dean SRC, and I would definitely like to thank all the faculty who are part of this technology innovation hub. About 40 to 50 faculty came together to work together and then come up with this. We were very fortunate to have this technology and all the support from the DSC, of course. And okay, so this is with the Technology Innovation Hub. I'll just quickly present about these positioning and precision technologies. Are you able to see the slides?
Yes, sir.
All right. Much of the material what you see is supposed to be internally circulated. There might be some material which has been taken from other sources. We have tried to cite most of the materials. So please make sure when you're taking it kindly. I'm just telling you beforehand. So I just wanted to give you what is positioning and precision technology. It's basically more looking at the location, centimeter level of an accuracy, real-time positioning. Real-time positioning is one thing which is kind of playing a very important role in our day-to-day life. Every one of us are tracking our known ones, the code, a lot of resources we keep tracking on a real-time basis, and a full-time operations also there. So I think much of this crowd who are here will mostly knowing about the GIS and remote sensing. If you have not heard about it, I think you will be keep hearing this very often in the near future, because this is going to be one of the most focused areas in the future. And recently we are working with many international, especially Google, Amazon, and I see a lot of investment is going on in these non-digital technologies. For example, we have seen at the airports, we have done thermal scans. This is one thing. We are investing so many. So if we start working on these technologies, develop these technologies in-house, take it to the industry, and then take it to the market, it takes some time to get adopted to that, build the quality and all. So GS, remote sensing and non-invasive technologies all fall under the positioning and precision. And who doesn't like nowadays drones? So a lot of applications with drones, including the email, the drone itself with the positioning and precision, kind of type of drones we are making it. So a lot of things are possible in this part. So positioning and precision with the remote sensing right from an hand device to the satellites, you can see there's a wide range of equipments or a wide range of possibilities here, so, which can keep track of our health, pulse, blood pressure, and other things. So, like, has so many things which can be used or developed under non-invasive technologies. Geographic information systems the most very how do I say, like, it's a very, when you tag it with the geospatial or the location on the Earth's surface, it becomes so. Number of examples can be created. Andhra Pradesh has its own, you know, own traditional food and other things. So, what kind of an industries can focus on Andhra Pradesh? So, depending on the case, if the demand and supply varies, right? So, there's so many things done just by having an information on geospatial tag to that, geolocation tag. And what I like about the system very much is the kind of layers what you can create. You can overlay, you can query, there's a spatial query systems. So it kind of, you can combine many things and then probably see the effects of each one of them and then come up for a decision. So GIS is again, on a whole, it's a complete arena where there's a lot of scope for the people to kind of come up with innovative dashboards, innovative tools, web-based tools, kind of create and APIs. The possibilities are there. I'm not going to go into this NMICPS. I think I have gone through this, all these major objectives. Basically, we kind of divide, if you see all our technology innovation hub in PPT, we have about uh, 8 areas where we kind of look into the system design, computational abstraction, sensing becomes very important. These 8 sectors wherein each one of them have a major role in this PPT. So what do we do at what kind of a national priorities and applications we are associated? I think I talked about the applications earlier, but national priorities, you name it, I think this is one of the hubs which falls into many of these. So you see SDGs, you see Industry 4.0, Digital India, Smart India, Make in India. So everything, whatever possible in the national, we play a major role in that. And in fact, we're very happy that NIT also joins us and then in this mission and then works towards this national priorities. So this is something which I think I have given it in a brief, but if you see, we kind of divided into technology development, applied research, fundamental research, and applications. A lot of things can be done in technology development. Again, this is not an exclusive list, so there are a lot of other possibilities can be done in this. And applied areas, definitely there's a lot of scope with GIS coming into picture, especially if you're working in nowadays AR, VR. Somebody is very much interested. We can do a lot of projects on AR, VR. Of course, there's a hub which is also focusing on AR, VR, but how do we use geospatial information with AR, VR? It's becoming a big area nowadays. And if you are also a fundamental research, I think you should be able to kind of contribute to positioning and positioning. So a number of faculties are possible. What is important here is not just the faculty, it's the kind of departments which are taking, the kind of departments which can take a role in this kind of activities. So with positioning and precision, there's a lot of interdisciplinary, cross-disciplinary kind of activities we can do. A multidisciplinary role can be played by several departments. So you can just see the names are not important, but what I want to bring out here is like there is a possibility that there's a very good chance that we can come together as different departments and develop very good products, especially under the positioning and precision technology. So we got a number of collaborations. We are kind of trying to work with, this is not the latest list, but there are a number of MOUs have been signed. number of partnering agencies. We are just trying to make sure that we get into collaborations with as many industries, government agencies as possible. So what is that we are going to focus at IIT Tirupati? When I say that, again, this is an initial proposal details, what am I giving, what I'm sharing with you. But again, you can come up with any of your areas. Please don't think that you have to be part of these areas. If it falls with geospatial, remote sensing, positioning and precision, we'll be very happy to kind of look into your proposals. The positioning and navigational systems, lot of opportunities we have. The technologies what we can look into is atomic clocks, GPS systems. In fact, I would invite NIT, AP students and faculty who are here, if you can work on NAVIC, our regional navigation satellite system. I think it will be great because this is something which is our local Indian GPS. I would like to see a number of projects in that direction. So we'll be very happy to support you in that. A number of applications are possible, especially if we start focusing on NAVIC. This is something which is very important, that the homegrown satellite system has to be used. There are a lot of advantages also. Of course, the system is still in a development stage, but unless we work and keep giving them the feedback, the improvements, if we keep giving them the feedback, the improvements will be much faster, and hopefully we'll be able to reach our target of having the full-fledged GPS shortly, very shortly. Drone technologies, again, a lot of things can be done in this, especially with the GPS, drones, all require positioning and precision technologies. Number of areas we can focus on. A lot of opportunities. I don't want to tell about the drone as such, but can you focus on developing the drones itself, the GPS which use the locations, our own homegrown systems can be used on these drones. You can work with the drone with sensors, new sensors you can develop, or a combination of sensors for various purposes. So a lot of opportunities are there in the drone technologies. Non-invasive technologies. So I think a lot of sectors can fall into this non-invasive. Especially I'm seeing health sector is one place where somebody wants to work in, develop a low-cost sensors. This is something low cost and a good quality. We should not be compromising on quality. Then LiDAR is another area if you want to work. I think this is something very promising area. All the unmanned vehicles will be using LiDAR, all the automatic cars what we are developing. In fact, much of the cars what you see today with an automatic braking system and all use LiDARs to track. So it's so there's a lot of scope here. If there are students or faculty who are working on radar systems, there's a lot of scope. Especially we can work closely with the defense people to kind of create much better radar system. Now radars are also used for various other purposes. For example, they are used for monitoring the weather. So radars are also used for kind of studying the weather, rainfall pattern and other things. So a lot of applications are there with the radar. This is something which can be done also on the wireless communication and networks. You saw that this is one of the grand challenges, the grand problems we need to work on. Kind of information we send, kind of information we want to track, how secure is that. So, and we want most of the information to be definitely on the wireless. We are talking about 5G, 6G. So there are a lot of developments are happening, and definitely this is something which is very important when I talk about the navigation and other aspects. So this is area where I think some of you can focus on in terms of innovation. If Image processing, again, as I said, like we cannot separate it. Whenever I talk about remote sensing, every one of us take photos with my phone. We are all doing remote sensing. You're watching the screen, it's a remote sensing. When we record it, we kind of want to uh, get a lot of information from the system, from the image. So different applications have different image processing methods to use. The domain expert is required. We can electrical faculty can work with civil engineering faculty to come up with the flood mapping, and agricultural scientists can work with computer science or electrical faculty who are working on image processing to come up with the you know classification and all, real time classification and all. What if there's a drone which is flying, can identify if there's any, if the crop health is not good, can it take immediately decision on the fly and then spray the pesticides or the water spreads the crops, can supply the water to the crops. So a lot of things can be done in that. So there's a lot of scope in these areas. Data science, I think we cannot separate ourselves today with the data science. Everything is all about data today. And especially when it is geotech, geospatial data. Geo AI is one of the buzzing words nowadays. If you can tag yourself to Geo AI, work, a lot of data is available, especially Indian data sets. A lot of noise in the data, a lot of things to be cleaned up, a lot of information to be extracted. So much heterogeneity. So this is something which I think you should be looking into. Of course, mathematical modeling and statistics you cannot separate, but what is that you want to kind of work on? So you have to collaborate with one of the engineering groups, or you are already working on something which can be developed as a product or a tool, a computer-based software tools or whatever. So there's a lot of things are possible because increasing complexity with the data, the statistics plays a major role. Kind of take out, extract the information. So this is something which I feel if you want to be a good in innovation and other things, you should be good also at the statistics. This is one area where most of the students skip it. I highly recommend the probability of statistics course should be taken very seriously. It will help you a lot, and especially if you're working with data science. Technology and opportunities. We'll just quickly go through this. I think I've been repeating this now. Precision agriculture is one area which we are going to work on. Then precision agriculture is already started in India to some extent, but there's a lot of scope because it comes with a lot of challenges. So one way I would say like it should be one of the areas which I think most of us can focus on, and you being at the heart of this agriculture sector in the Andhra, I think a lot of projects can be taken up by your institute. Disaster management again, this is one of the areas which I think there's a lot of scope. Precision conservation, which includes contamination. Pollution is a big thing nowadays. How do you identify a lot of pollution with the plastics, with dumping, dump yards? You see everywhere we are suffering because of the negligence of what we have not thought about it. What happens if I throw a bottle on the road? What is it? Where does it go? Whom does it affect? Sometimes we are not realizing that. It's a high time that we kind of respect environment and then we keep working towards that, or whatever damage we have done, we make sure that we identify it, and definitely geospatial tools can help the decision makers to take a right take it in the right direction to you know kind of come up with a solution for contaminant cleaning and other things. Natural resource management, I think this is something which is again very important. Number of sectors are there. You talk about the forest, everyone talks about. We have movies made about the forest and all. What do we do with the protection of this? How do we track them? How do we make sure that their animals are well protected and all? So this is a huge area. This has its own cost. It may not benefit us directly, but in the larger picture to this, where we work towards the natural resource management, especially much of our efforts should go to protect the water resources, the air, and not to contaminate about this land and other things. So all of you are here, I think, apart from Technology Innovation Hub, I think we need to kind of practice day to day and make sure that or find out an areas using the geospatial techniques in your area. Where do you think this local municipality should be really putting an effort to make sure that we are kind of having enough natural resources for our future? What is sometimes used nowadays very popularly is sustainability. So smart cities, I think this is again a buzzword everywhere. I'm very sure I think we have Vizag also coming in the smart city. So a lot of things can be done in smart city without the geospatial applications. Everything has to be tracked. All things in the city has to be brought into a single platform. So positioning and precision plays a major role when I talk about the smart city. So right from the infrastructure to the management of the infrastructure, the movement, the traffic, the navigation, a lot of things are there. So smart city plays an important area, I think, which has to be kind of, so in fact, your own campus, you can have a complete geospatial mapping of it and then create a system where it can be useful for the students, faculties, and parents who are visiting your campus. A lot of things can be done only through a campus. Campus itself is a good ecosystem to work on. It's like a mini, I'll not say city, but it's a place where you can have much of the things, except for the commercial aspects. Much of the domestic things you can tap it. Transportation, again, a lot of scope. This is something where you have number of areas, a number of technologies can be used here. A lot of number of opportunities are there. You can work on the automation of the vehicles. You can work on the traffic systems, GPS receivers. So a lot of things are possible with the transportation. I'm just giving you here the most in the public domain, but if you go to defense, there's another level of challenges. So I think it's important that we focus on these sectors first. Infrastructure, terrestrial, underground, and underwater, and all those things. So I just clubbed it into one. This is basically, if you see, like every one of us want to kind of, there's a lot of information which is required to be mapped. Infrastructure mapping is very important. Then terrestrial mapping is very important. What is your land cover? What is your land use? Underground resources becomes very important. So the huge possibility with underground surveying and other things. A lot of technologies can be developed using the radar, ground penetrating radar and all what we call. So this is something very important, especially when we talk in terms of India. Where is this pipeline going? How many pipelines are there under the road? Whether we can, so it becomes very important that underground there's a major role. I'm not sure how many of you heard about this, but we are supposed to map certain nautical miles throughout our boundary in Bay of Bengal, Indian Ocean and all. So there's a big study going on to map underground. So underwater mapping is also, we call it as bathymetry. So this is becoming very popular nowadays, bathymetry, especially I can say in the reservoir operation, there are a lot of sediment. So the capacity of the reservoirs have changed. What is the current capacity of the reservoirs? Whether the canals have been silted or not. So many things are there where under mathematics studies will help us. So very interesting area if you want to actually work on is in the social media analytics, where a lot of things can be done nowadays based on the data sets which is available. I know one of our faculty who is working with Facebook to understand the behavior of the movement of the people during the cyclone. So, so a lot of possibilities when we talk about the social media analytics. A number of things can be done in these areas also when it is attached to geospatial. Yeah, I think I'll stop here. I think I have covered most of the aspects, and there are a number of other areas which we have started working. Something on geospatial tools. We just have a vertical which is focusing only on geospatial tools. We have a vertical which is focusing on certain like Google Earth Engine or a cloud-based softwares and other things. So yeah, that's it. I think thank you. I think I have covered most of the details about the Technology Innovation Hub. If you have any questions, I'm open for that. Thank you again.
Yeah, thank you, Professor. It was a very nice things to know because I keep visiting the IIT Tirupati Hub related to any openings for the faculty, everything. And today I got to know a lot more other than that. As you mentioned, this Chanakya student fellowship. Earlier, I used to think this is only for the students of IIT Tirupati. Okay, so yeah, we will also motivate our students in this way also to
Yes,
pay for these fellowships.
the good thing about this is like the students can be anywhere from the country. They have to be registered. They don't have to come to our institute. They can just work from their institute. We only follow up with their mentors and then keep tracking the progress.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. If any questions from the participants, they can ask. Yes, Pawan Kumar Ganti. Do you have any queries?
I'm sorry for all this cough, and I'm just not doing well. I hope it was not a disturbance to all of you.
No, sir, not.
No problem, sir. No problem. In spite of all these things, you made it up. No, that is very big thing.
So I kind of I think I don't know if you don't have any questions, but I request all the faculties and students to kind of seriously look into this Technology Innovation Hub as an opportunity. We'll be very happy to work with NIT AP closely. I mean, we'll be definitely happy to work with you all. And there are a lot of opportunities, skill development programs we can conduct together. Please create a good ecosystem for this so we can support you to conduct a good programs over there. I'll be very happy to discuss only with the faculty. If you want, I can come up online. We can sit together and then discuss about which areas you can. If you have any questions, you can always write to me. And especially identify good students. Do some problems which are relevant to your institute. Like you can take your own campus and work on some of these developing some geospatial tools. Or you take your own region and you can see like you can develop something. So the support is coming from the TIS. You don't have to, worry much, but you can focus really on developing a long-term product which you can take it up as a startup tomorrow, or you can come up with a patent, IPs on your name, which again will help you in your career later. I think that we need to somehow come out of that research mode. You have to do research, but you need to also kind of put a certain amount of time.
Hello. Sorry, Professor. I think one participant unmuted their mic.
You are able to hear me?
Dhananjay Rao, can you please? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, Professor.
Somebody,
You can.
I think somebody is I think somebody wants to ask question, Dr. Yuvraj. Padmavati, Dr. Padmavati, she wants to ask some questions. Yes, raise the hand. Is it so? Madam, you want to ask any question to the speaker? Madam? Padmavati, madam? Okay. Sir, I have a question, sir. Shall I ask?
Yeah, ma'am.
Sir, you just showed some of your fellowship programs, sir. So, what do you want any mentor from your institute to be selected and then apply for the fellowship, sir, for BTech students, MTech?
Ma'am, you can call me just Roshan.
Okay, Dr. Roshan.
So see, I feel the mentors should have a certain interest in the programs what they are looking at. So I would suggest if you can identify a good mentor who is enthusiastic to work in this area, and the
Okay.
mentor in turn find out a student, or the mentor can put up a note in the institute saying that these are the projects I'm interested in the Chanakya Fellowship. Is there any student who would like to work on this? So
Okay.
you can internally work on this, but if the faculty themselves can come forward, that shows like uh, they have a certain amount of an idea and all, rather than we are pushing from outside, you just join this and all. So if you want to really make it successful, pick up somebody who is naturally interested and take it forward. They become the inspiration for the next batches. Uh, so it will help us in the long term. So I would definitely suggest you, if you know somebody, you can motivate the faculty, young faculty, who
Okay,
can
sir.
take up this. But I would also like to sit with all the faculty who are really interested in the program, talk another half an hour with them, listen to their ideas. If they can come up, they can just talk to us, and then I may help them in kind of helping them to either change their problem statement or look at it in a different direction, and
Okay,
then
sir.
probably it will be helpful to them.
So I just want to know whether the faculty should be from our institute or from your institute, sir. Like if our students, say for example, if our students are applying for this, BTech students are applying or MTech students are applying. So whether the faculty should be from our institute or from your institute, Dr. Roshan.
Ma'am, faculty can be from your institute only, because
Okay.
the
Okay.
mentoring institute, this wherever the student is coming from, the
Okay.
host institute only will be identifying the mentor. In fact, the students are supposed to go and identify. But either ways, it can work.
So
So
what
that's
would be TIH role, sir, in that when we apply to you? What would be the TIH role?
Ma'am, A is we are giving you the support for the students to kind of carry out this work.
Okay.
B is if you are kind of the mentor, also has something which, like we have the periodical progress telling them how to correct this, what kind of a. So I see one side it's just a supporting system to create this environment for developing the products, right from the UG, PG level. And we also provide mentorship from our side. Like I said, if you give it to proposal, I would look into the proposal and say like what improvements can be done on this, so that they can be part of this internship or fellowship.
Okay,
Did I
sir.
answer that question, ma'am?
Yeah. Sure, sir. I'm because I'm interested too, so that's why I was
Okay.
asking. But anyway, sir, I will be in touch with you surely.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, Dr. Roshan. In addition to this, as you mentioned, as an institute also, we would like to collaborate on multiple ways with THIIT Tirupati. We will also look along with our Associate Dean, Dr. Sudarsana ma'am, in this regard also, on how to collaborate and what, as you mentioned, there are lots of skill development programs we can conduct together, as well as this Chanakya fellowships also we can work together. In this way, we can have a collaborative way in training the manpower, as well as we can also focus on developing products. And once the product is well developed, we can also file some patent towards that. In that regard, also we will work closely. So I will also discuss with our associate dean and deans in this regard also, Dr. Roshan.
Yeah, I think we'll be very happy to get collaborated. For me, as much as we can reach in Andhra Pradesh, especially NIT AP, can play a major role in the regional development of the institutes. A lot of institutes around, your NIT. So we kind of work them to kind of impart the skill. Of course, we are restricted to GIS and remote sensing, but this is one of the major areas nowadays. I think it has a well-connected information and other. So if you can circulate, there are a lot of programs we are conducting, high-quality programs. The faculties also can benefit from the connections. So I've seen number of faculty. We bring in a lot of collaborations from foreign India, and then they get connected, and then they started working on different problems. So personally, also they can benefit a lot. You get in touch with many other faculty who are working in similar areas. So we need to create this network and environment under this TIH. Not even our TIH. I feel like you can go to any of these 24 other TIHs. But being a part of our system in Andhra Pradesh, I think we can work very closely together and actually create an impact on outreach programs, technology development. To be honest, I didn't know much of the programs where AP Innovation Cell was doing, and recently I got in touch with them. So many schemes are, and I think we are not aware of all this. And I was feeling like our students, faculty, and the institutes around us should benefit from all this. We can conduct joint hackathons. We can conduct joint programs. We need some good, enthusiastic faculty who, I'm not saying the fruits can be rightly visible now, but in the long term, you see that the kind of connections you build on will be definitely helpful.
Sure, Professor. Sure, Professor. We will also work closely related to this. And as you mentioned, this TH of IIT Tirupati, the problems, most of them are related to the problems of this East and West Godavari districts, especially agriculture lands of this East and West Godavari districts. And they are also having more marine culture. So these two districts are very potential of having the agriculture and marine culture problems, which can be addressed by our latest technologies also. So
yeah, you are sitting at a place where much of our agriculture happens. Like coastal area is one of the richest areas, and I think you can benefit a lot by developing. And students can work actually on the something which is very practical problems. And associated with the National Chanakya Fellowship adds to their resume, and they also get funded for that. If there's a single person, they get up to 10,000. And we also support, in fact, I forgot to mention this. So we also give a seat support of about 15 to 20,000 rupees for UG students, about 40 to 50,000 for PG students, and about 1 lakh to PhD students.
Okay.
So the seed funds, they can buy Arduinos, they can buy something to use it, develop it and all. So that is also taken care from our side.
Okay. Okay, Professor. So is there any queries from the participant side? Yes, Dr. Roshan, I think there are no further queries. I request the participants to, if you have any queries, you can write to the Professor Roshan, as well as you can also write to me if you have any other queries. But the intention of this workshop is to make you aware of the innovation hub activities, especially happening in the state of Andhra Pradesh, because this hub, as the Roshan mentioned, this is a one special hub arranged at IIT Tirupati, especially to promote the economy into the technology based. And I believe the participants would get more understanding of these activities happening at IIT Tirupati. So, uh, so with this, shall I conclude, ma'am? Shall I move with the vote of thanks, Dr. Sudarshana?
Yes, Dr. Yuvraj, you can go on. Yes.
Yes, yes. So, on the behalf of Institute Innovation Council of NIT Andhra Pradesh, I propose the vote of thanks. First of all, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to our speaker of the today's event, Dr. Roshan Srivastava, for kindly accepting the invitation and delivering the audience amid his busy schedule. He's handling both the hub as assistant professor. He must be busy with lots of activities, and I personally thank him to accept and kindly deliver this talk. I also thank our beloved Dean RNC and patron of IIC, Professor G.R.K. Sastry, for motivating us in conducting such events. I would also like to extend my gratitude to Associate Dean, Innovation Incubation and Startups, and President IIC, Dr. Sudarshana Deepa, for guiding us in organizing this event. My thanks are also to other IIC members, heads, deans of various departments, and faculty colleagues for supporting in organizing this program. My sincere thanks are to the participants who have registered and participated in this event. My thanks are also to my colleague, Dr. Sharath Trivedi, coordinator IIC, who meticulously planned this event. Unfortunately, because of the induction program happening for the first year, Dr. Sharath is involved in those, so he couldn't come and interact with this workshop. I also extend my gratitude to all the fraternities of NIT Andhra Pradesh who have directly or indirectly supported us in organizing this event. So thank you, Professor Roshan Srivastava. So this is a very
thank you. Thanks a lot.
opportunity for us to host, and we in touching with you. I will also discuss with deans and associate deans to have a more interaction and to come up with a good proposal to get joined with the TH Cup of IIT Tirupati.
Yeah. In fact, I would say you can also get in touch with our. I think we also have an innovation cell and all those things. Probably it will be good that your team also can get connected with the. So I would suggest all the IIT Tirupati faculty would be very happy to kind of come forward and support NIT AP faculty in different areas. So probably we should start building this healthy collaboration between us in different schemes. Probably we can see of joint proposals and other things. So of course, everything we cannot just do it, but if we can see natural combinations, we can always try to build some of these activities. Yeah,
Sure,
thank you. Actually, thank you to have me on this talk.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you for attending this amid your health issues also. I personally thank in this regard. Thank you so much. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, bye. So for the participant, the feedback form I will just share. You can fill it. And with this, shall we conclude, ma'am?
Yes, Dr. Yuvraj, you can conclude.
Yeah, so I have shared the feedback forms. I request all of you to fill that. And you will be receiving the certificates over your email in a due course of time.
So I request a humble request to all the participants is please fill in the feedback forms, because then only we'll be knowing like what is our uh, uh, good and bad remarks of, because next time, so that we can improve our sessions also in that aspect. And one more thing is, it will be also helpful for us for sending the certificates also. So please fill the feedbacks at the earliest. Thank you.
Yes.
Alright, some problem is there with the form. It's not open, somebody is telling.
No, it is very well open, ma'am. I think.
Check link once, somebody is typing.
No, Kumar, you check it once because it is opening. I have checked it just now. I am checking also. It is opening. There is no such issues.
Yeah, it's opening. Yeah. Some other participant is telling it is opening. Yes, Dr. Yuvraj, yes, we can leave the call. Is it?
Okay, ma'am. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
joining. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you.